For most families who learn that their child has a chronic illness, there's a period of adjustment that's followed by the relief that comes from learning how to manage it. In this module, several parents whose children have Crohn's disease share their experience.
He was starting to get pale. He started to lose blood.
She was saying that she was having a really bad period, and it was lasting a long time.
She started very suddenly losing a tremendous amount of weight.
He was just miserable every day.
We thought it was a behavioral issue, but it was really a physical issue. She didn't have the energy.
We were on a vacation. He noticed that something was bothering him on his bum.
She was actually at violin camp when we first knew that she was seriously ill.
We thought she had a stomach virus.
A lot of stomach pain.
She started experiencing some constipation.
But then it proceeded to happen for a few days.
We took her to her doctor because this had not improved, and the doctor ran tests and said, well, we need to get her immediately into Boston.
This was on another level of sickness, and I wasn't aware of it, and I somewhat was not prepared.
I thought this must be a mistake, and maybe it will just be over in a day or two.
I look back on that, it was 2 years ago this summer. It was like, you know, your whole world kind of crashed.
Like, I did all the right things to make sure my kids were healthy.
I knew that because she'd seen the doctor right away and the doctor had immediately moved on the diagnosis, that we had caught this.
I think I felt, okay, now what do we do?
It was overwhelming, the amount of medicine that she had to take.
Just the setting up of the pills for the day is a whole process.
We went to the pharmacy, we got a large pill container.
They said not to eat anything that will be rough on the digestive system.
I notified the teachers and the principal.
What happens if he got sick? What happens if he wasn't going to be able to make it to school?
I was at school almost every day picking up assignments for her.
It was a pattern, it was a system, and we would just incorporate the eating habits, the medicine habits, right into our daily life.
Josh has been doing really well. He hasn't really had any attacks or pain with bowel movements in a while.
It's only 2 years later, and our daughter is healthy, she's active, she has no limitations, she has a chronic illness, but we deal with it.
She can, eat basically everything, so that's good, and she is feeling good. She doesn't get up 5 times a night.
And now that everything's back to normal, we can appreciate how great it was to have a stable family with no one being sick.
I'm confident in him as far as being able to take care of himself. I've watched him grow through this, and he's managed himself pretty well.
I don't think there's a meal that goes by in this house where we don't somehow end up talking about poop. That's the way the house is.
I think she has a more mature outlook on the human condition now.
Just learn as much as you can about the illness.
Talking to individuals who are going through what you're going through is very, very important.
Get information about the illness. That way you can just be a little bit more aware as far as what you're dealing with.
Being open about it.
If you're embarrassed, don't hide it. Just make sure you trust the people around you.
Try to educate the people that you're close to, because there aren't a lot of people that have kids with this disease.
It isn't the end of the world. It isn't even end of life as you know it. It's just a different set of parameters than you had before.